welcome back to this Let's Play of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. Last time we met a pleasant droid here who doesn't actually get censored and everything he says, and this droid, we conned him into giving us a voice print that he apparently did not want to give us. I don't know, it's sort of unusual that droids tend not to be quite so defensive and quite so unhelpful. But this is actually kind of an interesting fight here, because the enemies here throw grenades, and they throw a rather a lot of them. So I don't really want to fight them all at once. Yeah, the poison grenades are really the ones I'm worried about. The sonic grenades don't do very much damage. And so all I have to do is just sort of, this is like the strategy that's been used in first-person shooters since Wolf 3D. You hold it back to each other.
It is a pleasure to see you.
And there's a stupid maintenance droid, which we'll have to kill first. Yeah, this is not going so well. We're just getting knocked around by all these droids throwing grenades at us. So they do eventually run out of grenades. So it's really, for this fight, it's partially just an exercise in patience. Unfortunately, I have to use a couple of medpacks between the poison and the damage they do. That's probably the... Actually, to a certain extent, it probably wouldn't be worth it to just throw an ion grenade there, but I didn't, so... That's probably the hardest fight in this area, because, well, I don't have any companions, I don't have anything, really. All I have is a pretty crappy longsword I put together. So. Now, you'll recognize this area with these fields. This is the other side of where we were with T3 before. And we gained a level. Hey, that's handy. So, I'm going to gain a level off screen. I picked up the stun droid power. It's not very useful, but, well, better than nothing. These droids here are the Mark IIs. They're a little more powerful than the basic droids. Not a whole lot. One thing that's worth noting about them, see these white attacks they're throwing at me? Those are not blasters, those are disruptors, which will go right through shields and also go right through energy resistance. So I'm just going to have to kill them. I'm going to have to do that anyways, but these guys can't actually injure, unlike the normal droids. Except when they're using grenades, they can't really injure me at all. These doors here, I mean, I guess I can go through them, but there's not really anything of interest back here. Just a couple more of these droids. Strangely enough, there's clearly we've cleared both sides of the door, but every time you open one of those doors, you summon another droid. So, I don't know. I'm using the flurry attack, which is, I don't know, it's not great, let's just put it that way. At first level, it gets better, obviously, when you start putting some points into it, which requires feats, and it's going to be a while before I actually start putting any points into it. It does, however, give you more attacks, and so it's important in the long run. You can get up to 4 attacks around without using flurry, but if you use flurry, you can get to 5. These are floating mines, which are basically just maintenance droids that don't heal anything. They also try and walk up to you and blow up at you. They're not really very challenging. just don't hit them with melee weapons. You also don't get XP for them if they blow themselves up, rather than having you blow them up, which, you know, I guess that's too bad. If only I had 3 weapon slots. Then again, if I had 3, I'd probably want 4. The plasma torch isn't something we're going to need long term. It's essentially it's as good as a lightsaber for breaking into things. But once you get a lightsaber, you might as well just use the lightsaber. One of the items I picked up there is an implant. The way implants work in this game is they don't require feats like they did in the first game. They require constitution. And it's actually, I mean, it's really a bad idea to have lower than 14 constitution, because you really lock yourself out of all of the good implants. So, hey, you know, here we are at the maintenance lockdown, and we can use the sonic sensor.
Control, voice print ID, R1B5.
And it lets us through. And we get some XP. Now, I'm actually going to go, this turbo lift here will take you back up to the administration level. And you can have a chat with Atten if you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run all the way back to the medical lab. Now that I have a computer spike, I want to go back and try and hack into that system and find out about the who requested the medical treatment and the drugs which tried to kill us. Here we are back at the med bay. So we go into patient treatment, treat injury, computer, and use the spike. And it gives you a console ID that you could use to identify the console, but it doesn't actually trace it for you. You're going to have to actually find the console. Let's just say hi to Kreia and see what's going on. And just, you know, checking in. And she doesn't really have anything to say. Okay. Yeah, she doesn't add anything. I'm gonna go just run back to the turbo lift to the fuel depot. You may have noticed there with the conversation with Kreia, it was automatically skipping past her conversation. That's another bug in the game, that it just sometimes it will automatically sort of skip all the conversation. It'll just show it on the screen. It's kind of annoying. You just have to quit out and restart. There are still some bugs in this game. Apparently the restoration project was really more of a content restoration than a bug fix mod, which is too bad, but most of the bugs in the game are fairly easy to work around, and some of them are easy to exploit. So I'm not going to be too worried. I'll try and edit out situations where I run into bugs, just because, I don't know, me swearing at the computer is not really something you want to watch in a Let's Play, is it? Anyway, we're almost done with this area. This is, I don't know, maybe the halfway point in progress? I don't know. We're making progress, at least. But, got a ways to go. Next time, we're going to go for a little walk in the darkness with this spacesuit. Now, I don't understand exactly where you're keeping this spacesuit. As you'll see in a second, it's pretty big. In fact, it's quite a bit larger than you are. Now, you know, not to mention that we're carrying, you know, 20 grenades, 10 energy shields, and a virtual armory of stuff. Not that this is abnormal for RPGs, but, you know, could they at least try to hand-wave something? Well, I guess there's always hammer space. Anyway, next time, going for a walk on the moon.